Hello everyone, good afternoon. You're welcome to another edition of the African SME Story. As usual, I remain the host of the show. My name is Linda. So for those who have been following through with the show, we've had about 3-4 weeks of exciting guests on the show, from BU Power to Plastic, Isaac, the MD of Plastic Company. We had Shayo talk about marketing. We had Edmond talk about technology as a way to move your business forward. And then also we had Kelechi talk about education and training, why innovation is key. But for this week, we're having a twist and we're taking it out of Nigeria totally. And today I had to learn a few things, and I'm really looking into traveling to other countries outside Nigeria, because it's going to open our minds to a lot. So this week episode, we're bringing a very interesting, exciting lady who is called Mo. Also, her full name is Maurine. She's from Kenya, and she's going to be talking to us about, alternative source of power, that is using waste, to recycle it to, kind of create energy and power in her country. She will also tell us a bit about Kenya. I'm sure you're going to also realize that we are kind of 2 hours or so behind Kenya time. I never knew until today when she was waiting at 12 and I was like, it's at 2. So if you do hold on, I will send a request to Maurine. Hi Maurine, okay, I can see you. I'm trying to accept, and I sent you a request if you can accept and come in, but I'm also trying to send you a request from here, but it's not letting me do that. Have you seen my request? Do send a request to be in my live video so that I can accept, and I'll read your profile a bit before we dive into it. Why is it not? So Maurine, do you want to send me a request to be in this live video, or accept my requests? I'll send that again. So for those of us tuning in, you're on to another edition of the African SMEs, and on this show we try to propagate hope, telling you about different businesses across Africa. We share with you from their knowledge, their experience, what they have done, what they're doing, how they're trying to survive during this COVID-19, post-COVID-19, and how they will remain in business. What we have today is we're trying to bring, the request is not going through, we're trying to bring someone from Kenya today. She's going to be talking about using waste to create renewable energy. It's going to be an interesting time for those of you who also want to go into this kind of business. You'll be learning a lot from Maurine. Maurine, I'm still waiting for your request. Hi Maurine, if you can see me, please send a request to be, yeah, that's you. Please send a request to be in today's live, or accept my request. I don't know if it's a network, but so for all of you listening out there, I hope you're keeping safe. We're going to be having an interesting time with Maurine, talking about, okay, Maurine, do you want to send me a request to be in? I have sent you several requests. I don't know if you've seen it. Or leave and come back in again. That way, it will send a request and I can accept. Do you want to leave and then come back again? So while I struggle with Maurine to come in, I'll just quickly read Maurine's profile so that we can skip that bit once she's in. So today we have Maurine Birir. She's the founder and CEO of World Gates. It's a social enterprise that converts waste materials to fuel called briquettes in Nkari County. If I'm correct, forgive me, Maureen. So WorldGate has created more than 100 jobs for the youth and women, distributed over 1,600 tons of clean energy fuel throughout Kenya since 2014. She is also MWF 2019 Alumni in Business and Entrepreneurship, a regional Young African Leader Initiative alumni, also the head of partnerships in Yali, RLC in Karo County. As CEO of World Gates, she works to empower vulnerable women and youths within the community with social entrepreneurship skills and sets the tone for how the enterprise deals with the entire business and social community. She's also a Tony Elumelu Fellow, was selected among 40 women entrepreneurs in the world as a 2018 Vital Voice Growth Fellow for her work in the renewable sector and empowering women entrepreneurs in the renewable energy. She's also a beneficiary of the Empowered Entrepreneur by Greenwork International and was selected as a speaker at the Washington, D.C. to speak as a panelist on women entrepreneurs in renewable energy. She has been certified as an ambassador in Kenya Climate Action Team project and received a recognition award by ELSA Convention Trust for outstanding efforts in promising environmental education and implementation of eco-school programs. She's done quite a lot. Maureen, I am still waiting to have you in. Let's see, go live rate. Maureen, I'm trying to still find another way to add you in. So if you can see this, this is. So I'm so sorry about the delay. I'm having issues bringing Maureen in. So Maureen, can you see me? Can you wave your hands again to me or send a request to be in this live video? You can also check your inbox. I have sent you a request so that you are in, and then we can crack the questions for the day. I'm having serious problems with mine. Maureen, can you wave your hands again at me? So let's see if we can read. Maureen, are you there? I can't see you at all. I really don't know if it's the network issues or what is wrong, but I'm just waiting for Maureen to come on board. She's been waiting. I'm surprised at what's happening. Maureen, you're not okay. So Maureen, accept, and then we can both go live. I think this should take a few more seconds. So for those of you tuning in, we have today the African SME, which is brought to you every Friday between 2 and 3. And today we have Maurine Birir. She's the CEO of World Gates. I'm sure this will be a network problem. It's really quite slow. I finally sent her a request. I'm just waiting for her to accept and we can crack in. Hi, Maureen. I think I can hear you, but I can't see you. I don't know how strong your network is, but I think this is a network problem. So, hello, Maureen. Can you hear me? Fine. I think this is a network problem. Hi. Nice to see you. I think most times it's easier with your phone than the laptops, especially for IG Live, to make it easy to move about. Hi, good to have you on our show. Okay, so we've spent about 10 minutes. So I've gone through your profile and I've told them about what you do and all that. So we're going to just get right into it. I will want you to quickly tell us a bit about Kenya. So most of the listeners and some of the people you've invited might know what you do in Kenya, but for us in Nigeria, it would be really nice for us to know, what are things like in Kenya. So stuffs around number, population, do you have more young people there than old people? Yes, and all that.
Percent that comes from the manufacturing sector that of the workforce. So I can.
I'm so sorry much that might be the challenge. So we'll just hold on again for her to come in and we'll continue. So we wanted her to talk about her country, Kenya. So Maureen is from Kenya and she runs a social enterprise that uses or transforms waste into renewable energy. So she's going to be telling us how you can go into the business, how many people that they have empowered. Okay, so let me invite her back again. So how many youths or young people have they empowered in the area? What have they done so far? What are the challenges they are facing? And what recommendations can she give to us? Hi, Maureen. I was just telling those coming in again, so you can continue. Sorry.
Hi. I don't know what
No, it's the network.
happened.
It's fine. So I think we lost you when you were talking about the population in Kenya.
In Kenya. Yeah. Oh yeah. So let me continue from where I left. So I was telling you that we have a population of about 47.6 million from our last census in 2019, and also our staple food is ugali and the meat, we call it nyama choma. And I can say that we have like 75% of our workforce comes from the agricultural sector in Kenya, and 62% of our GDP comes from telecommunication and financial sector, and 16% of our workforce comes from the manufacturing sector, which is still a sector that is not yet tapped, as we are importing most of our manufacturing infrastructures. And I can say that it's a country, and also we were doing very well when it comes to tourism sector, especially we have a lot of game parks in Kenya, and we were doing very well in the tourism sector until COVID happened. It has really changed the way we view business in every aspect of the way we view business in different sectors. Yeah, so that's all I can say about Kenya, and yeah, we are very friendly and enterprising and interesting people.
I hope to come to Kenya very soon. So that's one African country I haven't So
I hope to hear that very soon. So that
speaking with you will mean that I need
yes,
to come
and
to Kenya
yeah.
as soon as possible.
Speaking with you will mean that I need to come to Kenya as well. Yes, you need to. You need to. When you're in Kenya, you need to let me know so that I can take you around these nice places that I'm telling you about.
Thank you. Okay, so most times.
Thank you. Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Okay, when we start the show, I always like to ask people questions.
When we start the show,
in regards to their educational background. So what you studied in university, like what you are practicing now in terms of your business.
It's almost, but I cannot say it's directly related. I studied environmental science in university, but later on, after finishing university, that period when you're waiting to get into the employment sector and you don't have a job, I got into volunteering, but in environmental issues. Yeah, and that's when I learned trainings that we were in about how to manufacture briquettes and the impact it has in our communities. And I saw it's a need we have in our community, and that's how I turned into like briquette making business.
Okay, so I always also like to ask, especially when I have women, how has it been, what would you say is the story or the journey so far running a business as a woman, most especially in a male-dominated sector, for instance, like yours? I know that you have more male in this business line than female. How has it been like for you as a woman?
I can say running this business as a woman, people take you ask people what you do for a living, and you tell them you're manufacturing charcoal, and they look at you and they're like,
what?
Okay, so are you joking, or yes, like, are you joking, or is it a serious thing that you're doing? And I tell them that's how I make my living, and they're like, they think it's a joke, but once they come to know me very well, they understand that it's a business that is working, and they even come to the site to see how we are doing our productions and how we are empowering young people, because most of our employees are very young people, not even finished school, and we are trying to empower them in the job market, because they had some challenges when it comes to finishing school. And it's really changing mindsets that it's really changing mindsets, especially for young ladies in the community, to see that they can venture into something that is not norm in society. It's really disrupting the way they think and the way they handle issues. Yes, so I can say it's really challenging, but so far, so good, gives us the strength to keep on going on and seeing that it has a potential in the market.
Really good, really good. So, what would think that a woman would like really want to go into fashion or makeup or entertainment? It would be strange to see a woman who is going to manufacturing charcoal. Like, how? I'm sure you get that a lot. But how do you respond to, let's say to the males when they ask you, what do you do? And then you say, oh, I manufacture renewable energy and charcoal for this. How do you manage the reaction from them?
Okay. When how do I manage it? When they ask me about that question, and I tell them, of course, they get that shock in their face, and they think it's a joke, and they look at me and they're like, you don't think you can be able to even touch charcoal and be able to produce that product that you're doing in the community? But at the end of the day, I always sit down and explain to them and let them know of how important it is what we're doing in society, and how they need to empower their sisters, they need to empower their younger siblings, so that they can venture into these societies, into areas that have been male dominated. So I try to encourage them, and I try to tell them that that there's no job that, like right now, in this age and era where we live in society, there's no job that has been that a woman cannot do that a man can. We live in a society that is now open-minded, and it is what we have in our minds that matter, and our zeal and passion for life that matters. So I try to explain to them that there's nothing that is challenging for a woman that a man can do that a woman cannot do.
Perfect. I think you've done justice to that. So I always ask one question to small business owners, and the question is, how
Yeah.
easy has it been for you to access funding
Yeah. So
in
yeah,
Kenya?
it's challenging, but we're trying to. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So small business owners. So did you get my question? So I said, how easy has it been for you accessing funding to run your business in Kenya? Network is breaking.
How has it been for me to, pardon?
Yes, to access funding to expand your
No,
business.
it has not been easy. Having a startup, it's not easy. Like people tell you the good part of the story, they don't tell you the challenges that goes in creating the business.
Yes, to access funding. So I'm not hearing you very well, so I'm not sure. I don't know if people out there can hear you. If you can hear Maureen very well, please wave your hands. So Maureen, I think we're having issues there and we're losing you also. I'm so sorry, I'm sure it's the network. But I don't know if you will go out and come back in. Issues disturbing. Okay, I guess as much. So we'll just hold on again for Maureen to come in. Sorry about the breaks. Those are kind of the problems we face in Africa in terms of internet issues. So I'll wait for her to come back in and then she'll continue. So we stopped at, the challenges, accessing funds in Kenya, and even as a woman, what are the problems small businesses face in Kenya. So today we are having a guest from Kenya. She's not Nigerian, but she's doing a great job in Kenya. She's really doing very well in terms of trying to turn waste into renewable energy. So it's been an interesting time with her. We still have a few questions for her before we go. So let's see if I can handle myself. I was really worried about the internet going to be an issue today. View. Okay, so I've accepted again, just waiting for her to come in. Just give us a few seconds again for Maureen to come in and continue. Well, sorry about the break and the internet issues. So Maureen, I've accepted and I am waiting for you to accept the request also, and we will go live again. Hi Maureen.
Hi.
I can't see you.
1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, so sorry. This internet issue is a very big problem. Yes, so I lost you.
Sorry
I lost
about
you at the
that.
point where you were talking about challenges. As in business not being very easy, being very challenging. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. We were talking about challenges in accessing finance in business in our country, and I can say it has not been easy. When we started out, we started by bootstrapping and raising funds within and then raising funds within ourselves, me and my partner, my business partner, and my friends and family. That's how we started the business. And it's not easy accessing funds if you don't have a running business that people can see. It's difficult for people to buy the vision when you're a startup. So you need to be able to have something on the ground people can be able to see, and they can be able also to see the vision that you're selling to them. So later on, once we started the business, it started getting better because we were able to access financial services like loans from the government and also loans from the banking sector. Because if your financials are not in good order and they cannot be able to see your cash flows, it is very difficult for you to get funding for your business. So it is not easy during the first few years, but it's better as you keep on trying and you keep on pushing and you keep on and as long as you have something that keeps you going in business.
I think you've answered it. I think we have similar problems.
Thank you.
Across
I think
in terms of
you've answered the problem.
I think really similar because in Nigeria also,
we're
expected to run that business for a period of time before you can access loan. So I guess we have the same problem.
Yes.
Okay. So my next question would be, what are the lessons so far you have?
Yeah, it's a challenge like thing.
So I was going to ask the next question, the lessons learned so far.
The lessons that I've learned in business. Okay, number one of the lessons that I've learned in this industry of recycling, you need to do your market research well. You just don't sit down and come up with an idea in your head and you decide you're going to run a business. Because once you start that, you might end up making losses. Because the first year in business, we just had an
I'm so sorry again. I think she's having issues with her internet. I'll probably wait for her to come. The lesson so far, which had to do with market research, that if you're going to start a business, you need to have, take part in some market research whereby you understand that sector really well and then you know what to do. So I'll just hold on for Maurine to come back in again. I'm so sorry for today. I think her internet is really giving her a lot of problems. Please forgive our break in transmission. Hi, Maureen. So if you're there, just send me a request again and I will accept and I'll bring you in. So I'm just waiting for you to log back in, Maureen. Do send me a request. So today on the African SME story, we have Maurine Birir from Kenya, for those of us just tuning in. And she's talking about how she started and how she's running, let's see. How she's running a social enterprise, which is also a profitable business, but that is, the company is turning or transforming waste into renewable energy. So that's where we are. Hi, Maureen. I sent a request, so I'm just waiting for you to. Okay.
My apologies. I don't know what is happening.
It's okay. It happens sometime. It's fine. Yeah. So you stopped at market research.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was saying one of the challenges is in market. One of the lessons that I've learned is you need to do your market research well, because you can't just sit down and have a business idea and then you just decide to go and think that people will buy the idea that you had. You have to do once you have your idea, you need to do your market research well. Because the first year we had a challenge in making losses because we had an idea, we thought it is good for the market and we did not do proper market research. So we went and targeted the wrong target market, which ended up making losses for the company. And that is one of the lessons we've learned. Always do your market research. Don't read what you know in the books. Just go to the ground and know how it is in the ground. Another thing I've learned is partnerships. It is very important to make crucial partnerships in business because you need to learn. You need to make partnerships in forms of who is it that your suppliers, when you don't have money, how are you going to talk to your suppliers? your creditors. You need to create relevant partnerships with those people who are directly or indirectly related to your business. They will help you during tough times. Another learned is also like you need to up with the trends and be innovative and creative. You might think you're the best thing in the market today, but if you're not doing your research well and you're not being innovative and creative and learning what is going on in the world, you will end up being thrown out of the market and you will end up being irrelevant in your business. So those are some of the key things that I've learned
really
in
business. Thank you very
much
for Maurine. So you said you learned that it's very important that you have a market research, partnerships, and then also innovation. Okay, so I want to find out quickly, do businesses in Kenya also face challenges in terms of raw materials, talents, and resources in running their business?
Yes, we do, especially for young people. We do have a challenge, especially in raw materials sometimes, because you have to, maybe you're running a business in a different town or city to get your raw materials in another city. So it becomes a challenge to transport the raw materials. And at the end of the day, if your production raw materials are not within your locality, it ends up taking toll on your end product, which becomes expensive, and it becomes a challenge for you to sell your product in the market because of the price. So I can say, yes, those are some of the challenges we are facing as business people in getting raw materials. Sometimes talent for your business, the right people, you get people who have graduated, they don't want to dirty their hands and get into businesses that can be able to make them money. They are looking for the government to employ them, yet they might be very useful when it comes to getting into this manufacturing sector and these other kinds of business that can be able to help them make money. But because of their pride, you find all of them jobless at home. They're still crying for the government to help them, which is also quite a challenge, which I think it's a mindset problem. And especially for young people, we really need to change our mindset and be able to see and venture into opportunities and take each day at a time. Yeah, and I can say we have a lot of talents and skills in our country, but some of them are not willing to take an extra mile and that had their hands and get into this kind of micro small enterprises and be able to make profits and employ other people.
Where you have
that's one of our biggest challenges.
So young people who don't want to work. So
no, it's not
they want to work in the bank.
Yeah, they're waiting for the government to employ, and
and then the truth is that we all can't work in the
exactly.
bank.
Yeah, which is yeah, it's true. The government does not have the capacity to take all of us in so that we can get employment. So like if you've tried several.
So I'm so sorry again. I think her network just fluctuates, so it comes up and it goes. I will wait for her to come back in, and then we'll move into the remaining questions for the day. What about mindsets, and the African youths changing their mindsets, which is something that I really want most people to learn. So everyone doesn't have to work in the bank or work, in oil and gas. We can all start something small, and it could vary. So you can have more people come up with innovative and creative ideas on how to improve power and how to improve energy. And using renewable energy will be fantastic because it kind of reduces the air pollution that we'll have in Nigeria. So you can imagine people having clean coals in cooking and in doing what they do. That will be enough. So, Maurine was talking about young people having a mindset change or shift from just having to want to work in the big companies to also wanting to start up a small business or working for some small companies. So that's where she stopped. she also talked about, lessons that she had learned so far, which are key for every business. I think for the past 4 weeks, I've always had the SME owners, talk about market research. You need to find out what people really need, create solution giving products, not just forcing them to buy what you think they need. Most of the SMEs have also talked about partnerships. So if you're going to do well, you have to partner with other people that have maybe something that you don't have, in terms of maybe strength in accounting or in marketing. So just have like a synergy with other people who have some kind of resources that you don't have. And then you also need to be innovative and creative. Every week we talk about businesses in this period of COVID evolving or dying. So it's just two options. It's either you evolve or you die, which means you have to be very creative, or you end up, losing your business. So I'm just going to accept again, wait for Maureen. So we've talked about those three things. Now, for businesses to do well, they need to be very creative. So I tell people it's not about what you do, it's always about how you do it. So how do you sell the same product differently? Hi, Maureen.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm just waiting so I can see you. I can't see.
Okay. 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
okay.
The challenge with using your phone.
You talked about. Sorry.
Continue.
So you talked about changing minds. That's where you stopped.
Yes.
I think I'm losing you again. Can you hear me? I'm losing you again. So I'm really sorry, my listeners. This is beyond our control. This is due to the internet or network problems. So please do not get angry with us. Just forgive us. This was not how we intended today to go, but we're all for those of you who want to go into renewable energy business. I'm going to ask Maureen what you need to go in terms of funding, in terms of talent or manpower, in terms of how many years you also need to run the business to be able to grow and be profitable. So those are the remaining questions I have for Maureen. Hey, thank you, Douglas. You said wonderful stuff. You're tuning from Kenya. Thank you to all my listeners from Kenya, Maureen's fans. Thank you. Hi, Maureen.
Hi, I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't explain what is happening because the internet is fully working.
So you need a very,
it's
very
just beyond
strong
control.
internet for IG Live. It might be working for other apps, but if you're going to be on IG Live, it has to be super strong. That's why. But I understand. I totally get it. Okay, so you stopped at where we talked about the change in mindset.
Yes, we were talking about challenges we face in businesses as young people.
Yes.
Yeah, and I had mentioned I had mentioned on how young people are reluctant when it comes to creating employment and venturing into entrepreneurship. It is not an easy journey, but I feel like instead of sitting down and doing nothing and waiting for the government and private sector to employ all of you, in the meantime, you should look for opportunities that arises within your community or around the place that you're in, so that you can venture into so that you can create a solution. And once you create a solution for the problem and of what people are asking for, you end up making money for it. So I feel more young people should venture into entrepreneurship if they've tried getting jobs and it's not working out for them, because we have a lot of talent out here, we have a lot of knowledge, nowadays we live in a small world. You can actually be able to Google the kind of business you're doing and learn more on aspects of business and how to do business. So I feel it's something that more young people should venture into.
Thank you very much. So I would also like to find out, if someone wants to go into renewable business, how much will it cost? How much will it cost to start the business, to run the business? How long will it take for them to become profitable?
Okay, if you're willing to start the business, there's number one, you need to look around you and see if there's market for, because what we are doing, we are recycling waste to fuel called briquettes, and briquettes are a substitute to charcoal. And instead of people cutting trees and not conserving the environment, we recycle agricultural waste and make briquettes. So for you to venture into the business, you need to figure out where to get the raw materials. If the community you're coming from, that's the raw materials, you need the agricultural waste, you need corn, you need sawdust, you need rice husks, you need flour waste that you can carbonize to form charcoal dust, or maybe there's a lot of charcoal dust in your community that you can be able to recycle. Do we have papers in your community, normal papers that people use for writing? You can add that to some of your raw materials. So once you've ventured the raw materials that you need a small piece of land where you can do your business. So if you have a small piece of land or have a friend who has a land, they can lease it to you. Or if it's home and you have enough space at home, it is free, so it will save you the cost of land. And then another thing that you will need maybe is the structure for storing your briquettes, so that once they've dried up, where do you store it? You need water, and you need water for soaking the raw materials before it becomes an end product. You also need dryers. So approximately the capital you need to start the briquette business, it's approximately like $2,000 can start for if you're starting out and you don't need a lot of things. If you don't need land, if you don't need water, you already have water at home. The machine that you're using, you can use a manual one, don't need electricity. So to cut on cost when you're starting out, you can start with something like $2,000. But if you're scaling up, you can go up to $5,000 to $10,000 when you're starting out the business. But I always advocate for people to start with what they have. What is it that you have in your hands? Also, if you're really interested and you start with what you need, approximately $2,000.
I think you've spoken well.
And packaging material.
You said packaging, yeah. So to package the coals in bags.
Yeah. So yes, in bags. If you package them in bags as you're transporting it to clients. You don't need to brand when starting, but once you grow, you can start branding your packaging labels. So you just start with what you have in your hands at the moment.
So would you say that running and maintaining this business is that easy? How many years will it take you to be profitable? 2 years, 3, 5 years?
Let's say within, if you've done your proper market research and you've gotten all the raw materials that you need, and you have a mentor in the business who's helping you to understand more what the business entails, I can say within 1 year you're already making you've broken even and you're starting to make profit.
Fast. That's really good. That's really good. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say that the Kenyan market is ready for this kind of business? And what would your future plans be? Are you looking at exporting these briquettes out of Kenya to other African countries, or do you think the Kenyan market is enough for you to sell to and be okay?
The Kenyan market is okay, but I'm thinking like in future, once we expand, we can do exports to other countries, of which it's once to get to that level, you need to have very good machines so that you can make briquettes that are good export quality. So I can say there's a huge market outside Kenya and within Africa, especially for industrial briquettes, the one that are used for a very huge market. Right now, what we are making is it's local briquettes for local consumption. But for the export quality, we need very high-tech machines to get to make those industrial briquettes, which have a very huge market outside Kenya and worldwide. And we also have some companies that are already doing that, and there's a huge gap in that market that anyone who wants can venture in.
Okay. So who would you say your competitors are?
Yeah, so there's a huge potential.
So who would you say your competitors are?
I can say our direct competitors are the normal fuel operators, like those who produce gas. Those are like our direct competitors are are other briquette manufacturers, but we have a competitive advantage over them. But our indirect competitors are people who produce charcoal, gas, and other sorts, biogas and other sorts of fuel. Those are our indirect competitors. But apart from that, we already have a competitive advantage over them that makes us stand out, because our briquettes are cheaper than all other sources of fuel, and I can say they last longer for the and it's very affordable for a normal person and the middle class to be able to afford and buy the product.
That's fine. So you will agree that your products are affordable.
And for every 1 ton of briquette, yes. Yeah, that is one of the competitive advantages we have over other sources of fuel.
So most times when I have my interview with Nigerian SMEs, I always ask them what they think the problems are in terms of regulation and government intervention. Do you also face that problem in Kenya? Do you think the government is doing enough for SMEs, or they're not doing enough?
I think for now they're not doing enough for SMEs, because they will create some sort of fund, especially for young people, where they can be able to access funds, especially during tough times like this ones, where a lot of SMEs are closing down and things are quite challenging, especially in the financial sector. People are losing their jobs, and even SMEs are people are scaling down to what they can be able to afford. So I feel it's not doing enough. They will create some sort of funds where SMEs can go and because a lot of like 30% of our incomes from SMEs. So I feel the government is not doing much at the moment. They can be doing much better. And also in terms of infrastructure, I think if the government can be able to partner with those it can be able to partner with other countries, so that our infrastructure in Africa is able to be done in a good manner, so that we can be able to export our products and transport our products at very low custom rates. I think it can also be good for businesses, for SMEs. And I also think in terms of taxes, they really overtax SMEs, especially when they're importing the machines, when they're transporting the raw materials. The government is overtaxing a lot of SMEs, which is making it difficult for SMEs to do business within our countries, and a lot of SMEs closing down because the environment is not suitable for them to do business. So I feel they should do better in those terms.
I think we have similar problems across Africa. Like most of the SMEs have interviewed.
Yeah.
Same problem. So the government really needs to look into this.
Yes.
So before we end,
yes.
I want you to tell our listeners your website link, your social media handle, and that of your company, World Gates, so that they could go check you out to see what you do, how you do it, and how you've been manufacturing this since 2014, so that they can have a heads up and then ask you questions directly in case they want to start the business and all that. So I would like you to do that before we go to our final note, because we have about 5 minutes left. So do you want to tell them your details so that they can check you out?
Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'd love to. My Instagram handle is at Maurine Birir, Maurine. underscore BIRIR. My Facebook handle is the same at Maurine Birir, MAURINE BIRIR. And Twitter, I'm also called Maurine Birir. You can follow me on Twitter. And on my face in terms of my business handle, we have a Facebook page, Legacy Eco Solutions. You can check our products there. And we are still working on branding, so we don't have an Instagram handle and a Twitter handle, but at the end of the year we'll have them. And yeah, we are still also working on our website.
Okay, so before the
Yes.
SMEs leave for my, at the end of my show, I always ask them for one final note, like what recommendation or advice would you give the SME out there that they're not going to forget? So something like a takeaway from today's interview.
Okay, what I can say to other SMEs is right now I know the things are challenging and it is not easy running a business and even maintaining the normal daily run of your business. But all I can say is like, this pandemic is here, it's temporary, and everything will be well as time goes by. So we just take each day at a time, and it is okay to diversify. If your business is not bringing income right now, it's okay to diversify and listen to your clients and look for other sources of making money, because you have to make a living, you have bills to pay. So it is okay to diversify and look for other sources of income while you're waiting for things to get back.
Maurine, thank you so much. So before I end, I always like to have a recap. So first, I want to thank Support for Africa SME for bringing this together, partnering with Business Day. So if you do want to check out more of what we do, you can follow at Support for Africa SME. Also follow at Business Day NG for more information like this, to know what to do and how to start up a business. We also want to thank our partners also for always, being with us, helping us all through. I just want to remember the name. So we have Clark Energy and Sun Group. They have been supporting the Support for African Group, making sure that this is a reality every Friday. But before we end, we've been speaking with Maurine, and Maurine has been telling us about her business, which she started in 2014. She has done really well in terms of telling us how to go about the business. She told us also about Kenya. I never knew we had a time difference with Kenya until today. She talked about youth having a different mindset, like you need to change your mindset from what it used to be to being open-minded to doing anything as long as it's good and legit in starting up your business. She explains that you need about $2,000 to start up this renewable energy business. Just make sure you have the land, the structure, water, paper, and a dryer that will help you, run a business. We also look at what people need. So you need to find your competitive edge against your other competitors. Make sure your price is good. Make sure you know what your customers are doing in terms of market research. You also gave a recommendation to the government to not overcharge the SMEs, because some of them are struggling and they might die in terms of taxing. And the final note, you spoke about diversifying. So it's about surviving. So look for other things to do while you run that business with your passion. For those listening out there, I have had Maurine Birir from Kenya, and this is the African SME story, and she's been sharing to us about her business using the renewable energy. Maurine, if you have any other thing to say, we are good. I think we've had a very exciting time. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for bringing me Kenyan listeners across. I can see them waving their hands, saying, this is Maurine, this is our girl. It's good to have some people outside Nigeria finish the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to having you again, when your business is doing and sharing your experience with us. Thank you. Have a very nice weekend, everyone.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye. Bye. Okay. Bye.